So, Mandy, I'm an alcoholic.
I'm
really grateful to be here today. I got to lead a really great meeting this morning. It's on PCH at the Gladstones. It's at 7:20 in the morning. So I got there, it was still dark out. The sun came up over the hill and lit up the ocean. And then we were in a room that just has it was on the water. Just huge windows overlooking the ocean. And man, I want to go back there next Saturday. I just want to go back there, have a cup of soup or something and sit there all day. But clam chowder.
Best.
I took my niece with me. My niece is in town for 24 hours. Well, she was with me for 24 hours, and she went with me this morning. She's not an alcoholic, but she just went and hung out. And on the way back, she said, you know, I have that same mind. And she said, you know, what you described, that's kind of the human condition. And I was thinking about that when we were meditating a little bit between sleeping or whatever, wherever I went. I went deep. I don't know where I went, but I went deep. You know, alcoholism is being human. There's something about it. It's a very human condition, I think, to have an unsatisfiable, fault-finding, opinionated mind. And I think the infantile ego might be something that's a little unique to alcoholics. You know, that being a full grown-up body and still throwing temper tantrums like a 3-year-old and always being in a hurry and being so easily frustrated and thinking that I was born to be king. That might be, I don't even know though. I think a lot of people have that too. But the difference is that I'm self-medicated my whole life to treat the disease. I didn't deal with it without medication. I medicated. I just self-prescribed alcohol as often as possible to treat the disease. And then the alcohol doesn't work anymore. And now I have to learn how to live without alcohol and treat the disease. And that's where AA comes in. And this is a way of life where drinking isn't necessary. It's not a place to come to stop drinking. Because if you're just here to stop drinking, I promise you, you will not stay stopped. Because something will be more important than stopping drinking. And when that happens, you know, most people drink. Alcoholics drink. That's what we do. So when I don't get what I want, I drink. When I do get what I want, I drink. That's the crazy part. Because really, I don't want to not drink. I just want stuff. And drinking was getting in the way of that. So I don't know what I'm saying, but I have alcoholism. For me to drink is to die. And I can never, ever drink alcohol again. And so I have to find a way of life where I can be happily and usefully whole. And that only happens by practicing the 12 steps. There was another lady at the meeting. She had 12 years of sobriety, and she was dying. And she said, I really heard what you said. I really need to go to a meeting like this all the time. And so I told her about this meeting. She lives in Cheviot Hills. Maybe she'll show up. Maybe she won't. It's none of my business. People come up to me all the time and say, wow, that was great. I need more of that. I'm like, well, we got more. And they take my phone number and they never call. I give out my phone number like water. Nobody ever calls. It's so funny. It's not funny, but it's funny. So, yeah. So right now I get to treat the disease. I get to do it right now. That's what this meeting's about. We're not going to learn anything in here. This isn't a learning meeting. If you want to learn stuff, there are some good meetings. I can give you their addresses. And you can go learn from a book study about what you need, everything you need to know about treating the disease of alcoholism. This meeting's about treating it right now. Right now, being here in the room. Right now, coming to believe. Because this is the only moment that I could come to believe that there's a power, and that power is the thing that restores me to sanity. And that all that self-talk that's going on right now is the disease. And it's me trying to restore myself to sanity. All the talk, all the story, all the noise, all the opinions, all the fault finding, everything that's going on in my mind is the disease. And there's so many treasures going on in there of alcoholism. There's so many trains of thought. All I have to do is catch one. And I catch one and I go down that track and I'm headed for trouble. Or I could stay here, right here in this room right now, and stay vigilant. Power, could you help me? Could you help me just be here in this room? Could you help me hear what's being said? It would be better to have 1 second of hearing, of listening, than a whole meeting of learning. So there's nothing to learn. You already know it all. We already know it all. Because the great reality is deep down within you. All of the reality, what's real is deep down within you. I can't give it to you. You can't read it out of a book. You can identify with it in a book, and you can identify with what I'm saying, but if you don't go deep down within you to find that great reality right now, if I don't, then I don't have it. I don't have anything. I just have some head knowledge up here that doesn't serve me in the moment that I need it right now. So that's what I love about having this little group, and it's kind of like we're like an intimate little group of a lot of the same people over and over and over. You know, we're on to step 10. The other thing I'll say, and then I'll shut up, is that step 10 is so amazing because it says, whenever I'm wrong, I promptly admit it. And I've never been wrong. I may have been wrong, but you were more wrong every time. And that's a way of life, and that's an immature baby 3-year-old way of living life. I may be wrong, but you're more wrong. And I'm going to show you just how wrong you are. And by the time I get to step 10 as a way of life, when I'm wrong, I promptly admit it. And most of the time, that is an inside job. I think a wrong thought, and I promptly admit it to myself and to God that I'm wrong, that that's a wrong thought. Could you help me to have the right thought about this? Could you show me what to see? Because I'm not seeing it right. I'm seeing it wrong. And most of the time, I do not have to admit it to another human being. It's to myself and to God. And then when I'm wrong, promptly admit it. And if I hurt anybody, then I have to apologize to them too. But most of the time, I don't hurt other people. It doesn't go that far anymore. It's like, oh, it's inside. And then when I promptly admit it, when I'm wrong and I can promptly admit it to myself and to God, I am catapulted into step 11. To sought through prayer and meditation to improve that conscious contact that I just made by admitting that I was wrong. It's like you can't do 10 without being dropped off right at the bottom of 11. Oh, God. But while I'm at it, since I'm here anyway, and I've admitted I'm wrong, and I'm asking you for help, maybe I can just meditate on what's going on right here, right now. And maybe you could show me what the right thing is. Or tell me what I need to know. Show me. And so each step, wow, one right after the other. When you get to the end of one, and you stand ready to do anything which will lift your merciless obsession, well, the merciless obsession is in the mind, and it's mercilessly obsessed to be self-satisfied, whether it's to have a drink, or have more money, or have a faster car, or eat some more chocolate, or whatever the hell the merciless obsession is. When I stand ready to do that, I have to do step 2. I have to come to believe that a power can restore me to sanity, because I'm at the place where I'm ready to do anything, but I've tried everything on my power, and nothing's worked. So now I need a higher power. I need more power to be able to stop obsessing. And that one, two, three, they just one leads right into the next. And I get to have a way of life where drinking isn't necessary. Right now, I just went through the holidays. I couldn't tell you one difference between the day before Christmas, the day after Christmas, 2 weeks before Christmas. Every day is a day that I wake up that I have the disease. Every day is a day that I have to be grateful like Thanksgiving, giving like Christmas, and celebrating like New Year's Eve. Every day is a holiday for me. It's either that or I'm dying of alcoholism. And that's, so then those are my two options. I can either be having a holiday and enjoying the holidays or suffering from this other day of hell, a non-holiday. And I've had spectacular days. I gave presents, I got presents. I didn't think about what I did get or I didn't get or gave or didn't give. It's just been so even, so like a non-event, but beautiful days, one after another right now. Thank you. Not really. Thank God, because it's all God, because I didn't do it. Mm-hmm. So that's enough out of me. We're in step 10. You want to rip that light on, Steve? I have one extra 12 and 12 if somebody needs it.
So we're going to start on page 92 of 12 and 12.
Page 92.
The last paragraph, starting such as a radical change in our outlook will take time.
Such a radical change. Okay. Who wants to read it? Okay.
My name's Kim, an alcoholic.
Hi, Kay.
Such a radical change in my outlook will take time, maybe a lot of time. I can truthfully assert that, not many. I cannot truthfully assert I love everybody. I have to admit that I love a few, and that I've been indifferent to the many, and so long as none of them gave me any trouble. And as for the remainder, well, I really disliked them or hated them. Although these attitudes are common enough, I find that you need something much better in order to keep my balance. I can't stand it when I hate deeply. The idea that I can be possessively loving of a few, can ignore the many, and can continue to fear or hate anybody has to be abandoned, if only a little at a time. Now, see, to me, that is my infantile ego. There it is, and all depending on the mood at the moment. My infantile ego, it's great because I have grandchildren, so I can watch them grow up and see the thing, a baby goes for everything's awful, and then you change their diaper or give them something, and they're laughing. And it's really cute on a baby, but it really looks pretty bizarre on a 69-year-old woman. And you never know when she's going to scream out in terror or when she's going to scream out in frustration, or she's going to then turn right around and laugh and giggle and everything's going to be wonderful. That's the infantile ego. And I remember Ted said, as Freud said, we have this id that says, I want it, I'm going to take it from you. And we have the super ego that says, you need my car, so let me give it to you. And the ego is supposed to balance between the two. But my ego is so immature. It just depends on the moment I'm in. Am I happy or am I sad? My father was a dry drunk for many years. And the trouble is you never knew when he was going to turn from happy to angry. And at least with a drunk, you can smell him, But with a dry drunk, with that infantile ego still controlling me, no one knows whether or not they want to say hello to me that morning at work. Mm-hmm. And when I saw this is really my ism in the day I'm in, the idea that I can be possessively loving of a few, can ignore the many. you're trash. And to fear and hate anybody has to be abandoned, and I have to do it a little at a time. I have to see that that person that right now is irritating the crap out of me is God's kid, and needs to be at least acknowledged as a human being instead of a source of irritation like a little mosquito. And that's that infantile ego. That's the queen, you know. And it's slow to see it. It's slow to see it everywhere, but it can happen everywhere. And to me, making the conscious. I woke up Christmas morning and my internet was out, so I had to call the cable people and I called and I said, first of all, I want to thank you for working Christmas. Mm-hmm. I said it would have been so frustrating. That would not have happened to me even a year ago. Mm-hmm. It would be more like, my internet is out and it's Christmas. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't even think of the fact that there is somebody who's working on Christmas. You know, I never thought about the horrors of working on Christmas because I liked it when I was working as a nurse on Christmas because I always felt Christmas was kind of a downer anyhow because you never gave me what I really wanted, even though I wasn't sure what that was. You know, thank you for letting me share.
That's good.
Who's next?